So much for the Super League gone, but what's it left, Lord Sugar? In terms of owners fans relationships, is it an all-time low, is it not? You no doubt saw what happened at Old Trafford recently with the protests there. I mean, do you think owners should have more respect for fans after this?
Well, I've always thought owners had respect for fans. I can't see why you're saying more. I mean, any owner that didn't have respect for fans didn't deserve to be an owner. I mean,
yeah, but United fans say they haven't heard from the Glazers in 16 years.
Well, it's no, I can't comment on that. I mean, the Glazers went and bought Manchester United. Martin Edwards saw the money, and he took the money and done a runner, and he got offered a hell of a load of money. And in came a bunch of Americans who thought they could just apply American-style football principles. And as they do in America. And also, if I remember rightly, I believe they got a banker to actually put up the money. It wasn't even actually them.
They leveraged it, 500 million leverage, Alan, yeah.
Yeah, they put some banker in place. So they didn't really, they were pseudo owners. As opposed to, say, Chelsea, for example, and Man City, where the owners are the owners, really, and all that. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to be polite that some of these clubs that are owned by giant corporations don't have the feeling for the fans. When you got someone who owns like West Ham, they've got a feeling for the fans. Leicester got a feeling for the fans. You know, Liverpool have always had a feeling for the fans. I mean, they're an amazing club. Everton the same. Tottenham. I had a feeling for the fans. I'm sure Daniel has also.
But what do you think about things, Alan? Because in your time, I had Neil Ruddock come to me after West Ham, and he had lots to say during the time at Tottenham when you had your issues with Venables, and we all know what they were because I had similar ones with Terry when he was over at Palace. Do you think fans now are getting a bit ahead of themselves? Because look at some of the demands they're putting on football clubs now, which is we must be on your board. We want the 50+1 rule. We want to have the golden share. We want this. We want that. So what's your take on that? Because in the real world, where it has to be financed.
That is ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous to have fans on the board. Absolutely, totally ridiculous. I mean,
but Tottenham and Chelsea have done that, Alan.
I mean, at Tottenham, now we've got a new stadium with a 60,000 capacity. We've got 60,000 managers. You do realise that, don't you? They all know best. They know better than anybody else. So you don't want them anywhere near the board. The board has got to be controlled by the owners, and at best has got to have some director of football that has actually been in football, that understands football. At the tail end of my ownership of Tottenham, I had Martin as one of our ex-players and West Ham players on the board. And I had David Pleat on the board. People of knowledge who know what they're talking about.
Spurs have stuck an NED in there, Alan, from the Tottenham Supporters Trust. What do you make of that?
I'll say again.
Spurs have put an NED in, a non-exec director in, from the fans groups.
Well, is it symbolic or what? I don't know.
But surely they've got to have a voice, Alan, now. Surely, more than at any other time, the fans have got to have a voice. And this is the moment.
Voice? No. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. What is the voice? The point is, it's about, should we buy Carlos Kickaball or shan't we buy him? Do we have the money for him or not? You know, I mean, all the fans will want is better players and more expensive players and all that stuff. The other thing that fans might demand is that, you know, in the northwest part of the stadium, when it rains, water's falling on our head sometimes. So could you fix the roof? Yeah. My brother was the biggest Tottenham fan you could ever come across. And he used to complain. He used to complain before we knocked the building down that the water would pour in and drip on his head exactly where his season ticket was. Yeah, so fair enough. That type of stuff. Feed it back to the management, tell them to apportion some money to do some ground refurbishment, clean up the facilities there.
Yeah, but Alan, hang on a second. The clubs, the 6 clubs who attempted to join the Super League have all had to give, including Tottenham, a grovelling apology to their supporters and say, we're so sorry, this was so ill thought through, we can't tell you how sorry we are. So the fans deserve something out of this, because these same owners effectively spat in the faces of the fans.
Yeah, lip service, that's all it is now, lip service. What's happened was the financial side of it collapsed. It wasn't going to go ahead, wasn't going to happen. So the easiest way out is to say, oh, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it was a silly idea. We're not doing it. What do you expect them to say? What do you expect them to say to the fans? Well, we tried to make a few more quid. It didn't come off. So tough luck.
Yeah, but the protest down at Old Trafford was more than lip service.
Well,
this was real. They got inside. They were fuming.
Yeah, well, but that was disastrous. But the point is, what's that got to do with the management? They went in, and the management thought to themselves, "Oh bloody hell, this is bad news." So we turn the game off, switch it off, and reschedule the game. I don't get the point you're making. They've made, the fans have made their point. Get over it. It's not happening. So it's over now. You know, let's get what we need to do is to regulate the game in such a way that we don't keep looking for reasons to try to get more money.
Is there a problem though if we start capping wages and capping transfer fees? Is there a risk that La Liga, Bundesliga will start to supersede us? Yeah,
maybe. But so what? So what? I mean, there's always. I mean, look. When I first came into football, we in England were considered to be the poor relations until Sky came along, and the thing was run by Juventus,
Madrid, Barcelona.
You looked up to Barcelona. You looked up to Juventus. You looked up to Milan, AC Milan, Inter Milan. They were the kings because they were the ones spending loads of money. Then along came Rupert and his money, and he gave more money to a league than anybody else did. And suddenly, those people playing at Juventus, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Carlos's started coming to us because we started paying loads of money. It's as simple as that. But at the end of the day, with the exception of not being able to win the Champions League because you didn't have the talent to win the Champions League, the British game itself gave entertainment for the public because you played with what you had. You had the people with what you had, and we played each other, and you had your entertainment. Now, the only thing is that whoever won the league that year went into the European Championships and didn't get very far because the quality of players, with respect, let's say Leeds had at one time or Manchester United had at one time, weren't good enough and they were out in the third or fourth round. That's the worst case scenario. So,
yeah.
You know,
well, Alan, before we leave you, and we want to thank you for joining us this lunchtime. Many Tottenham fans are getting in touch at the moment, delighted to be listening to you, and I'm seeing the messages that are coming in, and most of them want me to put this to you. In their eyes at the moment, forget the Super League, Tottenham as a club is somewhat rudderless right now. Mourinho came, dipped his toe in the water, did his bit, but he's gone. Where are they now with 29-year-old Ryan Mason sitting in the technical area trying to get Tottenham to win the League Cup final? Where is the club? Where's it going? And who should be at the top of the club in terms of the manager?
Look, Jose Mourinho had a great reputation. He gave himself his own title of the special one. I remember saying on BBC News maybe 15 years ago, I'd like to see how special he is if he went down to the Leighton Orient, see what he could do with them. He was special in the way that he could write out checks and you know, get top players. I think what Jose does, and I've got to take your hat off to him, Simon, you'd appreciate this. What do I care, quite frankly? If it goes wrong, I'll get another payoff. This geezer must have had about, I don't know, from my count, roughly, I mean, allegedly, must have had in the last 2 or 3 years, 40, 50 million pounds of paying off. That's a good business to be in, don't you think, Simon?
Yeah,
great business. Yeah,
absolutely.
Now,
so what about Tottenham now? Who should be next, Alan?
Well, the way it works is like this with Jose, in my view. I think he starts off the season and it starts off well, and he is a clever bloke. If he sees a glimmer of hope that, we've got a chance of winning the league, he'll stay there. As soon as things start going downhill, I think he starts thinking about his compensation. Who are we going to get next? I have no clue who we're going to get next. And I'm certainly not consulted on that. I don't know. I think isn't it all about man management, really? I mean, Trevor, you would know better than this. Sometimes players are in awe of a name, right? And so in comes a person that they've never heard of, and there's a kind of non-respect for that person. And the respect is attained by what they've ever achieved in the past. But isn't it about man management?
Yeah.
I mean, you take a look at what's going on at West Ham at the moment.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job there, really. He's obviously motivating the players, right? And West Ham are having the best season I think they've had for ages, right? Got a lot to do with the manager, right?
Absolutely.
The manager is motivating them. So I don't know who we're going to get next.
Okay.
I've got no clue.
Alan,
No clue what.
Lord Sugar,
Maybe you should be the manager. I don't know.
I don't think they're that desperate. Maybe Trevor should. Absolutely. Lord Sugar, I want to thank you for your time and thanks for getting up so early to join us from sunny Florida. Have
Thanks,
a
Alan.
good day. Always great to speak to you.